Dean Martin was sitting in his director's chair on the set of Road to Hong Kong on a warm June morning in 1962, reading his script between takes, when he felt something land on his shoulder. Lightweight, maybe 2 pounds. He looked. A small monkey, capuchin, young, maybe 6 months old. Brown fur, white face, big eyes. It was looking at him, head tilted, curious. The animal wrangler came running over. "Mr. Martin, I'm so sorry. That's Peanut. He got away from me. I'll get him." The wrangler reached for the monkey. The monkey screamed, high-pitched, distressed, wrapped its tiny arms around Dean's neck, held on tight, wouldn't let go. The wrangler tried again. The monkey screamed louder, buried its face in Dean's neck. Dean felt the little body shaking. "It's okay," Dean said quietly. "Leave him. He's scared." What happened over the next 3 days proved that animals don't just respond to Dean Martin. They chose him. This little monkey brought to the set for one scene decided Dean was his person, and nothing anyone did could change its mind. This is the story about how a terrified baby monkey picked Dean Martin out of 50 people and taught everyone watching what trust looks like. It was June 12, 1962, Pinewood Studios, London, England. The production of Road to Hong Kong was in full swing. Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, Joan Collins. Big cast, big budget, comedy adventure. The script called for a scene with a monkey, a pet monkey that one of the characters owned. The production hired a local animal handler, brought in several monkeys, young capuchins, well-trained supposedly, used to film sets. The one they selected for the scene was named Peanut, 6 months old, small, cute, perfect for the camera. The handler, a man named Malcolm, had been working with Peanut for 3 months, said the monkey was ready, comfortable with people, professional. The morning started normal. Malcolm brought Peanut to set, had him in a small carrier. The plan was simple. Film a few shots of the monkey sitting on an actor's shoulder, maybe eating a banana. Cute stuff. Nothing complicated. They set up. Cameras ready, lights set. Malcolm opened the carrier, took Peanut out. The monkey looked around, big eyes taking everything in. The lights, the cameras, the people. 50 people on set, crew members, actors, assistants, all busy, all moving, all making noise. Peanut started getting nervous. Malcolm could feel it. The monkey was trembling. "It's okay, buddy, just like we practiced." Malcolm tried to place Peanut on the actor's shoulder, the actor who was supposed to be in the scene. Peanut refused, pulled away, started making distress sounds, little chirps. Malcolm tried again. Peanut scratched him. Not hard, just defensive. "He's a bit nervous," Malcolm explained. "Give me a minute." Malcolm walked around the set with Peanut, trying to calm him down, showing him it was safe, but Peanut was getting more agitated, more scared. The noise, the lights, too much stimulus. Malcolm was getting frustrated. This had never happened before. Peanut had been fine in training, but this was different. This was a real set, real pressure. The director was waiting, time was money. Malcolm needed to make this work. That's when Peanut saw Dean. Dean was sitting off to the side in his director's chair, his name on the back. Dean Martin. He wasn't in this scene, was just waiting for his call time, reading his script, quiet, calm, not moving around, not making noise, just sitting, peaceful. Peanut looked at Dean, then looked at all the chaos around him, then looked back at Dean and made a decision. Peanut jumped out of Malcolm's arms. Malcolm grabbed for him, missed. "Peanut, no!" The monkey landed on the ground, ran, straight toward Dean, tiny legs moving fast, dodged equipment, dodged people, made it to Dean's chair, climbed up Dean's leg, up his chest, onto his shoulder, wrapped his tiny arms around Dean's neck, held on. Dean had looked up from his script when he felt the weight, saw the monkey, saw the little face inches from his, saw the fear in those big eyes. "Hey there, little guy. You okay?" Malcolm came running over, out of breath. "Mr. Martin, I'm so sorry. That's Peanut. He got away from me. I'll get him right now." Malcolm reached for the monkey, Peanut saw the hand coming, screamed, high-pitched, terrified, held on to Dean tighter, arms wrapped around Dean's neck like a vice. Malcolm pulled back. "I don't understand. He's never done this before." He reached again, this time got his hands on Peanut, tried to pull him off. Peanut screamed louder, started making distress sounds, chirping, crying, buried his face in Dean's neck, his little body shaking violently. Dean felt it, felt the terror, felt the shaking. He put his hand up. "Stop, Malcolm. It's okay. Leave him. He's scared." Malcolm looked uncertain. "Mr. Martin, I need to get him. We have a scene to film." Dean shook his head. "He's not ready. Look at him. He's terrified. You can't film like this." Malcolm looked at the director. The director came over. "What's the problem?" Malcolm explained. "The monkey won't let go of Mr. Martin." The director looked at Dean, at the monkey clinging to his neck. "Can you hand him over?" Dean looked at Peanut, at those scared eyes, at the trembling. "I could, but I'm not going to. This little guy chose me for a reason. He feels safe here. I'm not going to betray that trust by forcing him into something that terrifies him." The director blinked. "Dean, we need to film this scene. We're behind schedule." Dean's voice was firm but kind. "Then film it tomorrow, or next week, or write it out. But right now this monkey needs to feel safe, and he's telling us pretty clearly he doesn't." The director looked at Malcolm. Malcolm looked at Peanut, sighed. "Mr. Martin is right. Peanut's too stressed. We'll have to reschedule." The director wasn't happy but nodded. "Fine. Take the rest of the day. Try again tomorrow." Malcolm started to reach for Peanut again. Dean stopped him. "Leave him with me. For a while. Let him calm down. Then we'll see." Malcolm looked uncertain. "Mr. Martin, I'm responsible for him. If something happens..." Dean smiled. "What's going to happen? I'm sitting in a chair. He's calming down already. Look." It was true. Peanut had stopped screaming, was still holding on to Dean but not as tight, still trembling but less violently, just sitting on Dean's shoulder, face pressed against Dean's neck. Malcolm reluctantly agreed. "Okay, but I'm staying nearby, just in case." Dean nodded. "Fair enough." Dean went back to reading his script, one hand holding the pages, other hand gently resting on Peanut's back, just resting there, palm flat, warm, steady, not petting, not stroking, just present, just there. A constant, calm, steady. Peanut stayed on his shoulder. Dean could feel the little heart beating, fast at first, racing, gradually slowing. The trembling that had been violent became subtle, then stopped completely. After about 10 minutes, Peanut's grip loosened slightly, not leaving, just relaxing. After 20 minutes, Peanut lifted his head, pulled his face away from Dean's neck, looked around, at the set, at the people, at the cameras and lights that had terrified him before. Still cautious, still wary, but curious now, not paralyzed by fear. Dean kept reading his script, didn't look at Peanut, didn't acknowledge the movement, just let it happen. Kept his hand on Peanut's back, that steady pressure, that constant. Peanut looked at Dean's face, at the script, at Dean's hand, reached out one tiny hand, touched Dean's finger. Dean smiled slightly, didn't move, just let Peanut explore. Peanut wrapped his tiny fingers around Dean's finger, held it, testing. Is this safe? Is this real? Dean's finger didn't move, didn't pull away, just stayed, solid, reliable. Peanut held on for a minute, then let go. Seemed satisfied. This human was safe. After 30 minutes, Peanut moved, climbed down from Dean's shoulder onto his lap, sat there, looking at the script, at Dean's face, at the world around them. Dean smiled. "Feel better, buddy?" Peanut looked at him, tilted his head. Dean took a banana from the craft services table nearby, broke off a piece, offered it to Peanut. Peanut took it, ate it slowly, then climbed back up to Dean's shoulder, this time not clinging, just sitting, comfortable. Malcolm watched all this, amazed, confused. He'd been doing this for years. I've been working with Peanut for 3 months, training him, building trust, giving him treats, doing everything the books say. He's never been this calm with me, never just sat peacefully like this. How? What are you doing that I'm not? Dean looked at Peanut, at the little monkey sitting contentedly on his lap. Maybe he just needed someone who wasn't asking anything from him. Think about it. You needed him to perform, to do a job, to act on cue, to be professional. Every interaction you had with him had an expectation attached. Do this, stand here, hold this pose. Even when you were bonding, you were training, building towards something. He could feel that. Animals aren't stupid. They sense when you need something from them, when there's an agenda. I'm just letting him exist. No pressure, no expectations, no agenda, just being. He can sit on my shoulder or not. He can stay or go. He can eat or not eat. There's no right choice, no wrong choice, just choices. And that freedom, that's what he needed. Not training, not treats, freedom. Dean spent the rest of that day with Peanut on his shoulder. The monkey wouldn't leave. When Dean had to film his scenes, Peanut came with him, sat on Dean's chair while Dean acted, waited. When Dean came back, Peanut would climb back onto his shoulder. The crew thought it was hilarious. Dean Martin, cool crooner, Rat Pack member, with a monkey on his shoulder. But Dean didn't mind. He's good company, doesn't talk back, doesn't need me to be anyone but who I am. At the end of the day, Malcolm tried to take Peanut back. Peanut refused, screamed, clung to Dean. Malcolm looked distressed. I can't leave him here. He needs to come back to his enclosure, Dean thought. What if I come with you? Help you get him settled? Malcolm agreed. Dean drove to Malcolm's facility, carried Peanut the whole way. When they got there, Dean spent an hour with Peanut in his enclosure, sitting with him, talking to him. Finally, Peanut let go, climbed off Dean's shoulder, explored his space, but kept looking back at Dean, making sure he was still there. Dean came back the next day and the day after that, for 3 days, every morning before filming, spending time with Peanut, building trust, letting Peanut know he was safe, that Dean would come back. By the 3rd day, Peanut was calm enough to film, but he'd only work if Dean was nearby. They rewrote the scene, made Dean's character the one with the monkey. It worked perfectly. Peanut performed beautifully, as long as Dean was there, as long as he could see Dean, as long as he knew Dean wasn't leaving. When filming wrapped, Malcolm approached Dean. Mr. Martin, I have something to ask, and you can absolutely say no, but Peanut has bonded with you, really bonded. I've never seen him like this with anyone. Would you consider adopting him? He'd be happier with you, I can see that. Dean looked at Peanut. The monkey was on his shoulder, where he'd spent most of the last 3 days. Dean wanted to. He really did. But he traveled, he toured. He wasn't home enough. I can't, Malcolm. It wouldn't be fair to him. He needs stability, consistency, someone home every day. That's not me. Malcolm nodded, understood, but looked sad. Dean thought, but I'll visit. Whenever I'm in London, I'll come see him. And you'll send me updates? Photos? Malcolm smiled. Absolutely. I'll send them monthly. Dean spent his last day in London with Peanut, saying goodbye, explaining. Peanut didn't understand words, but he understood tone, understood the sadness. When Dean left, Peanut watched him go. Didn't scream, didn't cling, just watched, like he understood. Stories like this one deserve to be remembered. The moments when legends were chosen by creatures who saw something special, the trust built without words. If you want to hear more stories about the people who shaped an era, the connections that transcended species, and the humanity that made them unforgettable, this channel tells those stories. Because these aren't just tales about famous people. They're lessons about being present, being patient, and letting trust happen naturally. Dean kept his promise. Every time he was in London for the next 8 years, he visited Peanut. Malcolm sent photos monthly. Peanut grew up, healthy, happy. But Malcolm said Peanut always remembered Dean. Would get excited when Malcolm mentioned his name. Would look around like he was searching. And on the days Dean visited, Peanut would climb right back onto his shoulder, like no time had passed, like they'd never been apart. Peanut lived for 18 years, died peacefully in 1980. Malcolm called Dean, told him. Dean was quiet for a long time, then said, "He was a good friend, taught me something important. That trust isn't earned through effort, it's given through presence. Peanut gave me his trust that day because I wasn't trying to earn it. I was just being, and that was enough." Malcolm sent Dean one last photo. Peanut in his enclosure, happy, calm, living a good life. Because one day a terrified baby monkey had jumped onto a stranger's shoulder and found exactly what he needed. Safety, calm, someone who didn't need anything from him. Just let him be. That's the Dean Martin story that should be told. Not just the performer, but the man a scared monkey chose out of 50 people. The man who spent 3 days earning trust he didn't even try to earn, who understood that sometimes the best thing you can do is just be present, be calm, be safe. Dean Martin didn't try to win Peanut over, didn't offer tricks or treats or performances, just offered presence, and that was everything. The monkey refused to let go because Dean was the first person who didn't try to make him, and that's why we remember his name, because connection isn't forced, it's felt, and Dean Martin knew how to be felt, by people, by animals, by everyone he encountered. That's not just kindness, that's grace, and Dean had it in abundance.